Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read-through for Kubera Season 2, episodes 127 through 130, maybe? I'm gonna try to do 4 chapters. But if they're like super long and I can only do 3 chapters, it is what it is. So I'm gonna hope to split Falling Leaves into 4 and then 4 again next week. And then for the next one where it's 30 chapters long, we'll see what happens each week. If they're like super short, or even if they're super short, I can't imagine doing more than 5 in a week. Like even with shorter chapters, that's probably still going to be over an hour. So, 5 at the most, maybe, to like 3 at the shortest if they're like super long, and 3 take me over an hour. So like 3 to 5 per week to get through the 30 chapter one, I think, is what we're looking at, and we'll just see how it goes each week. So either way, I am excited to start reading. I've been really loving the story so far. Season 2 has kind of been developing towards ahead. Like I said last time, I think we're in this maybe gonna start getting some like heavier conflict and some answers coming out because all of the characters are starting to come together as part of this. And then of course when I see something that's massively long, like 30 chapters, it just makes me think, oh, that's probably some big climactic thing. And then we have a few short ones, I think, after that. But I don't want to look too far ahead. I don't even want to look at titles. I don't even think I know what the next one is called. I know it's 30 parts long, but I don't know what it's called. So I have remained unspoiled as possible. I don't think I've been spoiled on like anything, actually, now that I think about it. So either way, don't want to distract any longer. Let's read 127. And of course, as usual with all of these, once I finish reading, I'll go through and read the afterword. So we start off. How did it go with the thing I instructed you about? I found him, but I didn't kill him. Why not? First of all, half of his blood is from Garuda, so I have to be more careful about killing him. And secondly, he may have grown recently. But he didn't look strong enough to cause us any worry. The more you drag this out, the more time he'll get used to his newly grown body and continue getting stronger. Still, he's only at 3rd stage. Plus, his crime is far too great to just beat him to death. I don't intend on spoiling your personal vendetta, but just make sure that it doesn't get in the way of our plan. It'll make things hard for us if he shows up again and starts interfering. That won't happen. I've already found a way to keep him from budging an inch. And now we have Falling Petals Part 1. And that's probably in relation to her finding the pod that Lee's dropped from. You said you managed to start floating after studying on your own, right? Could you tell me how you managed to do that? And then we have Leda Hollow, I'm assuming, unless it is like Halo in the original Korean and they're, translating it like this. I would have to look up the original. Leda Hollow, pure blood, 25 years old, Mirha's personal assistant. Well... And then, hold on, I will actually look it up really quick so I can know that I'm pronouncing it right from the beginning. The Korean characters would kind of be like Ledahello. So, I guess the reason that they didn't do a double L here is because if you did like Hallo, people would think it's hollow. So it is Leda Halo. Okay. So, Leda Halo, and then Pure Blood, 25 years old, Mirha's personal assistant. Well, Ron told me not to tell anyone else about it. You're going to have to explain the situation to me in as much detail as possible, otherwise I won't know what the problem is, so it'll be hard to help you. Oh, sorry, Ron. I really have to learn this spell. Well, you see, what happened is that how you really did it? Did you really practice Bhavati Kubera in such a way like that? You can't tell anyone else about this. Please, keep it a secret. I'm asking you as a favor. Alright. Now, first of all, when you're steering yourself in midair, and we cut over to Mirha, you're already all done. Yes, although I couldn't check her Bhavati Kubera here. I'm pretty sure that she'll succeed almost right away once she tries outside Aero Plateau. Okay, so this kind of feels like setup for her to, I don't know, if you fall from Arrow Plateau, will you reach a place where you can use Kubera magic again before you hit the ground? Or do you have to get like far away? Because Kubera magic was also not working in the vicinity kind of around the place. Is it only the airspace, or like once you get to the ground below, is there a spot where it's possible? It just makes me feel like it's set up here, since they're saying, oh, she'll probably succeed almost right away when she's outside of like Arrow Plateau's range of not being able to use Kubera magic. It just makes me think of okay, then she's going to fall or something, and then be like, this is set up for her being able to save herself by being able to use Bhavati Kubera right away. She kept asking me to repeat things because there were a lot of words that she didn't know, but aside from that, she has a remarkable level of understanding and memory. Very impressive. I figured her physical abilities would be excellent since she passed, claiming first place in the test of the sword, but I didn't know she would be so bright as well. Mirha, this is just my personal opinion, but shouldn't Lise know the truth too, since she is the victim directly involved in this? No, not yet. Once I've taken Lise away from Asha and they have grown a little distant, when Lise won't be too shocked by this, then I'll tell her. But the Grand Magician's Conference is right around the corner. I'm not sure whether we should defend Asha in spite of having all this evidence, whether we should just stand by and watch this absurd situation where a victim trusts her own assailant. It may be hard to understand, but just do as I say. Great shocks follow great trust, after all. Asha will leave once the meeting's over anyway, and it won't be too late to tell Lise the truth once they've grown distant. Lise, how's your Bhavati Kubera coming along? Mirha, I learned a lot thanks to you. Thank you. Where's Asha, by the way? It looks like Asha needed a bit of alone time. While we're waiting for her, come with me. There's something I want to show you. Something you want to show me. These are clothes that your mother wore? Wow, for some reason, or for someone to wear clothes like these. I know what you're imagining, but they actually didn't really suit her that well. My mother was a half from the Shuras, and her face was the Shura part of her. Still, my father loved my mother, in spite of her face. So he still hasn't thrown out all these clothes. By still, I guess she means that these clothes are supposed to be thrown out. Then her mother must not be with her anymore. Hey, Mirha, don't be sad. I kind of know how hard it is. Sorry to bring up your bad memories. Is there anything you want to wear? You can take something as a souvenir for coming all the way here. What? No, these are your mother's clothes. How could I? It's better for someone who suits them to wear them. Plus, it's unfair for the clothes to be stuck in a closet like this. Or are you uncomfortable wearing the clothes of someone who's dead? No, it's not that. Then try something on and don't feel bad. How about this? It looks like it'll really bring out your best features. That one's kind of... I feel like I should wear that when I'm a bit older. So you're looking for something more brightly colored and younger looking. Let's see, did my mother have any clothes like that? No, we have. Saha passed through the checkpoint, Asha being confronted. You know that with his abilities, he can watch over this entire city and attack you, right? I'm going to give you one last chance to talk to Lise, but I suggest you don't do anything suspicious. Hey Asha. Oh, and we've seen this before. It was either in the prologue or some sort of flash forward that somebody saw, but I think it was in the prologue where we saw her wearing this. Looks like you're busy even here. We haven't seen each other all day. To be continued. A really good chapter. So we go through the training really quickly, which is fair, just being like, oh, she's a natural. She can probably do it as soon as she gets to the place where Kubera magic isn't cut off from her, which, again, totally makes sense. She's already kind of learned the basics, and also we can't spend too much time on her training and learning here when there's nothing really visual to show. And I'm sure that if there's anything like specific, more than we heard when it comes to the sort of mental side of things or understanding how the spell works, then that's something that we'll probably get told later when she actually uses it. And we're continuing to build up to whatever's happening. We actually have the two of them together. Will they actually have a decent conversation, or will Asha keep Asha-ing? We'll have to see in the next chapter. But before we go to the next chapter, let's read the afterword. The afterword this time says, Sagara, long time no see. If you think about it, Sagara, like Mira, has an appearance of age of 15. So, to me, I didn't even think about that. I guess because I'm marathoning, I'm like, really? Has it been that long since we've seen Sagara? The reason why Sagara looks more mature is because there's padding in her clothes crossed out. I think it's because Sagara's heels are high. And sometimes I like to draw like this. It feels like I used to draw with a Sharpie in the practice area during study time. These are mostly very revealing clothes. The reason Mirha doesn't wear these clothes is because, as you can see, the sizes are completely different. I want to see Mirha's mom now. Because she said the face thing, I really want to know what she looked like. And then fishing as if you're not wearing any clothes. Alright, and I still love this thumbnail down here. I still love that panel. But either way, we get... Is this for the next chapter? Yeah, it is. I was going to say this little sketch panel, or was this a special thing? But either way, let's go read 128. Chapter 128 continues with Lise here. Hey Asha, looks like you're here, looks like you're busy even here. We haven't seen each other all day. I just put this on because Mirha insisted. I'm just trying it on for a minute. I know it looks weird on me. I've never tried on clothes like this before. It suits you. Really? Wow, look at me. People in the temple. Asha says this suits me. Lise? What do you think about the accidental manslaughter incident of 29 people? That? Wasn't it a mistake? They say that even monkeys fall from trees sometimes, so a genius like you could certainly make a mistake. 29 times? Yeah, 29 times. Why, am I supposed to believe that you killed 29 people on purpose, Asha? No way. You're the one who leaped in front of that terrifying high-rank Shura to rescue me. If you were such an evil person to kill 29 people on purpose, you would have just left me to die. All 29 of those deaths were accidents, at least to me, no matter what anyone else says. Do you really think they were all mistakes? Of course, at least to me they're mistakes, no matter what anyone else says. Are you stupid? You know that's not true. Why would you believe that when you know the truth? I really. And then, because you still have so many paths open to you, I have faith in the possibility of the future. The possibility that a child who went down the wrong path so early will return to the truly righteous path. So, this is odd. Are we messing with time or something? Because I was thinking this could have been Vishnu talking, but it doesn't seem to be. If anything, there's the curly hair. Maybe they're just supposed, we're meant to think it's a woman here, but it's actually Rao, because Rao also escaped from Karte before vanishing and was presumed dead, right? Or was going to Karte, one or the two during the upheaval stuff, or was it N5, like 5 years after the upheaval, which is when Asha came from Karte. So I don't know if we're messing with timelines or what's going on with this, but I do love the idea here of trusting in Asha, because though she went down the wrong path by killing those, she could still, make things right. And it's weird though, because this is not Asha after killing those 29 people, because this is still a kid and Asha was older when these 29 happened, after Asha became a magician, right? So, I'm not sure. Are you confident that your opinion won't change in the future? Yeah. Then promise me, no matter what happens, you'll believe me. And then she smiles. Okay, I promise, Asha. Falling Petals Part 2. We have a crowd murmuring. Huh? Why are there so many people? Is there some kind of event happening in the temple? Miss Ashirahiro, your presence is required immediately. If you cooperate, we'll treat you in a way befitting a A++ level magician. But if you refuse to cooperate and try to escape or fight back, it'll be seen as an acknowledgement of your crimes and you'll be treated as an A-rank magic criminal. What's going on all of a sudden? Why are you arresting her? Iran? What are you doing here? What's happening? What is all of this? I'll explain it to you soon, so just step back for now, Lise. With the 29 cases which were deemed accidental manslaughters, in addition to the 3 remaining unsolved cases, Asha's being charged for the intentional murder of 32 people. What? Alright now, since Samfadi's back, it's very interesting. I was not at all expecting us to keep cutting over to the Sagara, Samfadi, Marana group. Alright now, since Samfadi's back and we finished surveilling Rentalo, shall we map out a complete picture of the situation? Rentalo itself isn't a very difficult target right now with our forces. The problem is if someone disrupts our plan. The biggest hindrance is definitely this guy. Stupid poo. Do any of you have the courage to face Agni now? Samfadi, not even you? If he's summoned by a summoner, I won't lose in terms of power. The problem is his insight. Unlike other 5th stage Rakshasas, I'm now just barely over 5,000 years old, so I'm not at an age where I could defeat Agni's insight. I would have to fight with my eyes closed, and if my eyes were to accidentally meet Agni's, and he read my thoughts, it would cause a lot of problems. I don't want to be burdened with the risk of revealing the fate of the Garudas to a 5th Zen god. If it were anyone else, I could get rid of them for you, but I'm going to have to refuse to face off Agni. So you're saying that you could win, but you want to avoid any possible danger. Alright, I understand from your perspective. There's no reason to accept such risks. Then what should we do? I'm the only one here who's old enough that his insight wouldn't work on. Should I fight Agni myself? And then we have the reaction from the others. What do you mean, Sagara? I'd rather find a way to persuade Shess. He's as old as the universe itself, so Agni's insight wouldn't work on him. And he may only be a 4th stage Rakshasa, but he can temporarily use the powers of a 5th stage. I'm sure he could keep Agni's hands tied until we achieve our plan. I appreciate your concern for me, but it wouldn't be easy convincing that guy Shess. It may just turn out to be a waste of time. Still, it's better than putting yourself in danger, Sagara. This isn't like last time, when we had to directly raid a Terra. Since our target this time is Rentalo, Agni's top priority is protecting the summoner in a Terra, so it would be hard for him to directly interfere with us at Rentalo. Besides, see that mountain over there? Bang. And we see a huge crater blasted into it, basically. Taraka had sealed off this transcendental skill, but I tried it out recently for fun, and it actually worked. I was shocked. I don't know how, but Taraka is dead. So I got some useful transcendental skills back. Okay, from what happened with, why am I forgetting names, especially of characters that I like? I didn't really get much sleep. I'm going on sleep deprivation mode. Maybe that's why I'm struggling so much this video. But it was when Cossack was traveling. But the problem is that Gandharva's regained his transcendentals as well. And still, Gandharva's been missing for a while. That is really cool. More things I didn't expect. I didn't expect we'd be bringing up Gandharva here, and potentially even bringing him back into things. The afterword this time says, Sagara can draw better pictures, but, well, I don't think she wants to draw Agni well. Then this is the actual model of the stupid poop drawing above. And then this is clothing that's more revealing in the back than the front. There were quite a few comments in the last episode saying that Yuta should see this. This is a big problem. It's not my imagination that makes Lise look taller. It's because of her shoes. Originally, when you first wear such high heels, you won't be able to walk properly. They say that Lise adapted right away because she has such good athletic ability. And then the typo has been fixed. Thank you for letting me know. Lise dress-up event in progress. Okay, very good chapter once again. Again, I really, really want to stick with and see more of the stuff that's going on at Arrow Plateau. And yet, I'm also really excited about the Rintalo stuff, and I wasn't expecting it all, so that's a surprise to me. And I wonder if the two things are both going to be like happening simultaneously through this arc and next arc, and that's why it's such a long climax, because we're going to be cutting back and forth between the big climactic events of both, or what the deal is going to be. Or maybe we sort of keep setting things up during this 8. Then we have our, much like last time with Night at Rain Fire, followed by Lies for You. Maybe the big 30 chapter one is going to be what happens with Rintalo and Agni and the Shuras and all of that, much like Night at Rain's Fire was last time. And then we do the Lise and Asha stuff with whatever, I think there's like maybe an 8-ish, maybe 8 or 9, something like that chapter arc. And then like a 4 to 8 one, and then maybe like a 4 or 5, something like that. So that's still quite a bit of chapters. So maybe we will do the Rintalo stuff at the big long 30 chapter one, and then for the other 3, we'll do the Lise and Asha stuff. But either way, excited to keep reading. We're only halfway through, so let's go read 129. Starting 129, isn't that Ron? I heard he just became a AA. Since his magic exam score was so high, will you participate in Asha's trial? It may be hard to accept, but that's the current situation. Among the 32 cases for which Asha was designated the prime suspect, 29 of them were deemed accidental killings, and the remaining 3 cases ended up being unsolved because of insufficient evidence. But after investigating the cases recently, all 32 of them had something in common. There was a clear motive for murder, and plenty of evidence to support this. You said it was the name of a god, right? That's right, the name of a god. All 32 people had the name Kubera. Now we're Falling Petals Part 3. That's a really good way to do the reveal to Lise of that aspect. Claude? No, he hasn't been here. We see Teo again, just constantly being hit with things I didn't expect for these. Then where has he gone? We have Sierra. I've looked everywhere in the city that he might have gone. There are no records of him exiting the checkpoint either. Couldn't he have just left without passing through the checkpoint? He used to do that sometimes at Rintalo, so that people wouldn't find out find out right away that he had left. Isn't he going to help us at all in a mess like this? Wait, I think Claude wrote this. He didn't even leave a message for me, so why would he leave a note here? And then, hey hun, why don't you put your name on the Do Not Resurrect list now? I strongly recommend that you look into the truth of the Vishnu spells and seriously consider it. If Sierra shows up, tell him that I've gone to do some part-time work. I'll buy him a drink when I get paid. A drink? What a load of crap. When I meet him, I'll punch his jaw right off. Sierra, go ahead and vent your anger in your own temple. Destroying someone else's temple. Claude, what are you doing here? What do you mean? Can't I be here? I have a right to attend the Grand Magician's Conference too. Claude Yui, pureblood 29 years old, a Rintalo Priest of Death, magic rank AA, 3rd place magic ranking, 2nd place before Ron was promoted to AA. I'm not questioning your qualifications. I asked why you're here. Where the heck did you take a transport ship? In Calibloom. I didn't originally intend on taking the ship, but I fell asleep on the ship as I was loading a gift onto it that I wanted to give to Asha. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in Arrow Plateau. Wow, the view is sick. This is such a cool city. Did you know that Arrow Plateau was the 5th out of a list of the 100 best travel destinations for healing yourself? This was the only place where a city itself was ranked. Remarkable. Hey, Claude, did you come here for a tour or something? It's better to be attending a meeting here than messing around in Calibloom, though. Then we have Natasha Ross, pureblood, 37 years old, professor of magic at Eloth University, formerly the top candidate for Priestess of Fire. Magic rank A, 13th place, 12th place before Ron was promoted to AA, which is pretty nuts. You know, former top candidate for Priestess of Fire and 13th place is really, really high. You know, I wish you had even half of Ivy's personality. Claude, how is it that you haven't grown at all since university? Are you even going to attend the meeting? We have The Florissi, Aaron Florissi, pure blood, 33 years old, professor of magic at Eloth University, magic rank A, 15th place and 14th place before Ron's promotion. Yeah, well, I hear that Saha's going to bring up Ashirahiro's accidental manslaughter incident for discussion at the meeting, so I was wondering if I could be of some help. We don't need your help, so just forget it. And it's interesting that we have Priest of Death here, who has got some, like, extra info or secrets on some of the details that have to do with the Vishnu spells. And that seems to be a part of why he's so interested. Ron is the only AA whose help I need for this trial. I'm not speaking to any other AAs until the trial is over. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to help with the trial. I'm talking about after the trial. If those 3 unsolved cases are confirmed to be murders, she could even get the death penalty. Have you found an executioner? Most people don't want to be the executioner, so isn't it nice if someone volunteers to do it? Now we have Asha in a cell. Asha? It's not true, right? You've been framed. That you've been killing people with the name of a god. It's ridiculous. Then what about me, Asha? Why am I still alive? You had plenty of chances to kill me, but you didn't. You protected me. Even while knowing my real name, you said that you would protect me. Something's wrong. There's been a misunderstanding. Tell them your side of the story. I'll help you. I'll clear your name, so just say that it's not true. Tell me that you didn't kill those people on purpose. Tell me. Don't just keep your mouth shut. Tell me it's all a lie. Please? Do you think it was a coincidence that I happened to be passing by your village at that time? Why would I be in some remote village in the middle of nowhere? I was looking for people with the god's name. The Shuras were also looking for the people named after the god. If I find them first, only one person dies. If the Shuras find them first, the entire village gets destroyed. When you think about it, Lise, if you had died earlier, your village probably wouldn't have been as damaged as the way it was. I don't know if Asha's telling the truth. I don't know if these are actually her motives. So you could say that these are like neat, complicated motives of, okay, she was taking out the people named after the god so that the Shuras didn't kill others. Kill one to save multiple others. That would be neat motivation, but I think from like the semi-flashbacks we've seen and stuff that it's deeper than that. I don't think that's actually the answer here. And my reason why is also something that could be proved wrong. It's because we know how Asha got this information, but how would the Shuras know? And even if the person with the god's name died early, how would the Shuras really know that they were already dead and wouldn't just destroy the village anyway? So, to me, it feels like Asha's still lying. Think whatever you like about the fact that I didn't kill you, or kill only you and brought you all the way here, either in a positive way or a negative way. The results of that trust, and whatever guilt you'll feel afterward, it's all on you. Then we have creaking and slamming. Also, this stuff feels like it's, after all the build-up, it feels like it's happening just very, very fast. If I find them first, only one person dies. If the Shuras find them first, the entire village gets destroyed. Again, it might be true, but I feel like with the level of information that I have, I still don't trust that that's why Asha's doing it. Because again, then she could have, well, I guess maybe she's just saying, oh, the reason you're alive is because I didn't make it to you first and he destroyed the village. And then it's like, oh, well, why kill you if he already destroyed the village? I don't know. It just doesn't quite make sense to me from the perspective of the Shuras that we know so far, unless we learn more from the Shuras' perspective and from like the flashbacks and stuff we have of Asha and Asha's stuff since then. So I feel like the explanation doesn't add up. And things like that have happened, I think, in the past in Kubera on purpose. So I think that we're still being lied to. Now, to be continued. Really good chapter, though. We have this reveal. Again, it all happened very, very fast. I don't know how I feel about how fast it happened, or the fact that it still feels like Asha's lying. But either way, let's see what the afterword has this time. The afterword this time, a larger version of the Prison of Silence. If you don't remember, it's part 2, episode 97. Even if you give them A++ treatment, or if they're a suspect in magical murder, you have to prevent them from reciting spells. Normally, we would be talking about Lisa's outfit in a friendly manner, but now, then since Teo hasn't appeared for a while, some people asked if Teo's appearances are over. No, it wouldn't end that ambiguously. Then this is the person who appeared 3 times in part 1. If you remember all 3 times, thank you. All that eyeliner around the eyes is makeup, so it's hard to tell who she is with her bare face. Then the Lee's dress-up event is in progress, same as last time. And then talking about the single volume editions. Okay. Very fun chapter, but we still get to read one more. I feel like this is not a satisfying cliffhanger for me. I gotta keep reading. Let's go to 130. Season 2, episode 130 starts with, before the Grand Magicians Conference began, Asha's magic usage records were examined. And then, the estimated time of death, place, and causes of death of the 29 incidents deemed as accidental killings all matched Asha's records of deadly magic use, so they were clearly proven to be murders. And although there were differences in the time frame for the 3 remaining unsolved cases, Asha could have easily tampered with the evidence if she used Hoti Vishnu. At the time, Hoti Vishnu was thought to be impossible to use, so they didn't even check the records. Thus, in order for her to be declared guilty of the unresolved cases, all that remains was a confirmation of Asha's records on her usage of Hoti Vishnu during that period. Okay, to see if she could have revived these people. Like, if she had, quote-unquote, accidentally killed them with deadly magic, if she could have revived them afterward. And as a result of the inspection of her Hoti Vishnu usage records, Asha was confirmed to have used Hoti Vishnu more than 1,000 times, since more than 1,000 times is absolute insanity, since she entered the planet Willarv in the year N5. Ultimately, all of the unsolved cases were declared to have been intentional murders. And then, the Grand Magicians Conference only had to determine her sentence. So I wonder, now that we know she's used it over 1,000 times, and it's not some special thing that she's just rarely breaking out, it makes me wonder if you are going to be able to go back and reread the series after finishing Season 2, and see places where the timeline is messed up, where maybe she's used it and we just haven't been told. And then the conference had to determine her sentence. Part 4. We see the big towering mountain in the center. Welcome, Grand Magicians Conference. Magic ranking 100th place or less may enter main hall of Sky Tower. I'm assuming that means 100th or greater, like the top 100. Fix up this old piece of junk for me. It's a pain to be writing this. We have Ida Yui, pure blood, 28 years old, invited instructor at the Terra Magic Academy, rank A+, 7th place in magic rankings. And then the rankings from before Ron was promoted will now be omitted. Okay, that's cool. Just showing where they are now. Geez, you're so demanding. You normally would have to take a transport ship from Calibloom or Eloth to get to Aero Plateau. Just be grateful that you were able to come here directly from Terra. They used the junk tiny car. That's funny. Quit complaining when my car is the only reason that you're able to get here before the meeting starts. I just love the idea of them flying here on the car. Lorraine Rartia, pure blood, 37 years old, merchant, magic rank AA, 5th place magic ranking. Hey, hold on. You can't take credit for everything. My teleporting was a big part of the reason you were able to cut down on travel time, you know. Roosh Seiran, quarter 35 years old. Quarters are twice as old as they look. Magic president of the Atera Magic Guild. Magic rank A, 117th place magic ranking. Okay, so it's crazy that we have a branch president with such a low ranking compared to some of the others that we've seen that are like just teachers at academies or stuff. It shows how powerful the teachers at the academies are, I guess. Also the fact that she's 117th but still a rank A, so there are just lots of powerful rank A's. So Roosh, though, is 35. Is Roosh, I guess, the older sister of Rish then? Because I didn't think that Rish was that old. Yeah, I'll give you 30% of the credit, Roosh. All that, like, for some reason I was thinking that Rish and Roosh were twins, but I guess they might not be twins. I guess they might be an older and younger sibling. And then, yeah, I'll give you 30% of all the credit, Roosh. All that girl with the big butt did was take up 1.5 seats on the way here. Plus, since you can't use Kubera magic here, doesn't that make doesn't that make that Kubera magic expert just a high rank pushover? Excuse me, I can hear both of you. Now, we don't have time to bum around. We should go and prepare for the meeting in advance. But why do I see so many halves around here? Halves? You're right. I wonder why there are so many of them here. Strange. Halves don't usually come here since people in Arrow Plateau don't have a very good perception of them. And they can't even use magic, so it's not like they're here to attend the meeting. I asked some of them, and they said they were here for the meeting, though. I wonder, is this going to be a part of whatever secretive group the brown-haired girl was a part of, and the other people who have received oracles, or whatever? Are the halves maybe part of some group that has some plans for what happens with Asha? Are there going to be people who are trying to stop her from being executed? And then they're here as witnesses for Asha's trial. I'm not sure what they're testifying for, but anyway, Saha's vouching for all of them. Okay, so never mind, Saha's involved. Crap, why are there so many halves? I came all the way here, and now I have to put up with all these halves flogging about? This sucks. Should I bump into one of them and pick a fight? And we have a racism? Hold on, don't bother them over nothing. Saha vouched for them to be here. Saha. Then are these halves going to testify against Asha? Then I'll leave them be. After all, I came all the way here because I owed a grudge for not being at Asha's trial for accidental manslaughter. Isn't that Ron? I thought he had a phobia of halves. Yeah, that's him. Seeing him... Sorry, I already got this panel down here. Seeing him sitting among all those halves, I guess he's overcome his phobia a little... And then, I guess not. How can he still be cowering in fear of halves when he's a AA now? It's just pathetic. He's more than capable of easily wiping out all these halves here by himself if he chose to. I heard it's because of a trauma from the Great Upheaval. Isn't he just being weird, though? It's not like he's the only guy who was assaulted by halves back then. He's just mentally weak. I lost my parents, husband, and children to the halves I vouched for. But I only despise them, not fear them. Natasha. If he doesn't get over his little problem, he'll be nothing but a joke for the rest of his life. How many people out there would be willing to accept a pathetic disorder like that with the world the way that it is? Unless it were his close family members. I mean, can you not clearly know that he's a quarter? Excuse me, please let me pass. Hey, isn't she? Oh, and we're seeing, okay, Rana for the first time in literally, like, 6 ever? Ron? It's alright. It's okay now, so you don't need to be afraid. And then, you're the one who was too busy to help me with my graduation project. Looks like you've got more time on your hands now, Professor. It's pretty far from Misty Shore to Arrow Plateau. What happened to the guy who was crying just a moment ago? Huan and Aline said that they would look after Misty Shore, and since I'm a fairly high-ranked magician in Misty Shore, I came on their behalf. Rana Ramia, pure blood, 27 years old, professor of magic at Misty Shore University. She and Ron have been best friends for 18 years. Magic rank A, 24th place magic ranking. After working all day during the semester, the only thing you take time off for is to attend a meeting? When are you ever going to get a boyfriend? You know you'll be 30 before you know it. You're one to talk for someone who's 10 years older than me. For quarters, age is just a number. Even now, I look like a magic student if I put on a school uniform. You make it older slowly, but you still can't stop it. Eventually you'll get older too, and you'll be an old man. But in my case, I could stop right here and not get any older. He looks surprised. What do you mean, not get any older? Are you still half asleep, or are you jet-lagged? Forget it. There's something I can get if I go back to Misty Shore with you after the meeting's over. What is it? What on earth could it be for me to have to go with you in order to get it? I'll tell you later, after the meeting's over. And I wonder, like, it obviously has potentially something to do with romance and she's blushing, but resurrection is one of the elements of Misty Shore. So do they have, like, even if the temple isn't really active anymore, do they still have some of, like, the old Vishnu, like, god items? Like, we've seen a lot of god items left behind. And if so, since we've seen that Vishnu can kind of turn back things to what they were, then is it possible that a Vishnu item can just stop aging? That seems pretty easy to do if, like, Hoti Vishnu was something that Asha can just spam. Anyway, congratulations on your graduation and for your AA promotion. You're starting to look a bit cool now that you're finally out of school. I know I shouldn't laugh, but I haven't had anything to laugh about lately, so seeing your silly face makes me laugh. Whose silly face? Rana, I really wish I could just go back to when I was in Misty Shore. If I hadn't started breaking through the waterways, I wouldn't have had to get stuck in the middle of all this. What'll happen in the trial? I'm not sure if anyone would stick up for Asha after seeing all that evidence. 15 minutes until the Grand Magician's Conference begins. Any high rankers from 1st to 100th place who've not entered yet, please make haste to enter the main hall. We see Asha waiting. Okay, so next time we'll maybe be starting the trial, and I guess that means this is a pretty good place to end, and we'll split it into 4 next time. So either way, before I do a little bit more talking and end the video, let's see what the afterword has. Afterward says, I suddenly couldn't focus my eyes 3 days before the deadline, and it's still the same even after the deadline. Why? Because of that, I had a really hard time picking the right ones, and I'm not sure if I even picked them properly. I think I should go to the hospital tomorrow. Then I feel like I haven't seen in a long time. Heidi eventually received a dance costume from Lorraine. It looks pretty simple now, and I'm assuming dance costume might mean like a magician's outfit or whatever, because that was something that she wanted in the past when we were there in season 1. What's the difference between Ron's half phobia expressed in a gag cut and expressed in a serious cut? There are quite a few people who have noticed this for a long time already, but I think there are many people who noticed it through this episode. If you don't know yet, keep watching, and one day. Is it the tears? And then, a subtle distance between friends and lovers. Is this Ron Syrafay, 37 years old, single since birth, who was crying until a moment ago, and then suddenly became calm as if nothing had happened? Rana doesn't have a face that could be called ugly. Why does Ron call Rana ugly? And then, okay, fix the typo. That's where we're ending here. I really enjoyed it. Very good 4 episodes. But rather than answers, I mean, I guess we did get big reveals, but it's so funny because the big reveals were kind of used less as big reveals and more as more hints for the future. So we have so many more questions, so many more hints for the future, and I guess I have to wait and see what happens next. This is just one of those, like, it happens when you're reading long-running series where it's like we're getting a lot of information, a lot of things are happening, but it feels like we're just kind of in a transitional period where we're kind of in a mid-point and we just need to see where things go. So that's kind of like the part I'm in the story right now, is with just these 4 chapters, it's like I just need to wait and see where things go. But I really did enjoy getting to see characters that we haven't seen in a while. I enjoy bringing the cast together as much as we did. I mentioned it a couple times and seeing things that I was surprised that I didn't think I'd be seeing. And I think that that sets it up well. So we're setting up stuff with pretty much all of our characters that are, you know, of any importance. Other than Teo, like, we don't know what's going to happen with Teo or with Gandharva or with Sierra. They're the only really ones that are kind of left out, but other than those, it's either at Rind Hollow or at Arrow Plateau. And of course, Kubera, Yuta are kind of doing their own thing and will jump in at some point, jump into the story again at some point. But we just recently saw them. So it just makes me wonder, you know, as we're getting into the big climactic stuff for season 2. We've got all our characters together, and it seems like we have the two places it's happening at. Are we going to jump back and forth between the two? Are we going to stick with one, then stick with the other? Or are we going to even somehow join the two? Is somebody going to somehow warp the island of Arrow Plateau to where Calabloom is? Because if it's a floating island, is Arrow Plateau just a static floating island, or does it float around the planet of Wilbarth? It seemed like it was just a static floating island, but if it floats around or can float around, or if people can like warp things to an extreme degree, will it end up at Rintalo, and then we just have this massive finale with literally everyone? I think that's probably the least likely, but again, a possibility since we're talking about a floating island. But either way, gonna end things here. Thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there, tell me what you thought of these chapters, my first thoughts and reaction to them. Subscribe for more Kubera, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you'd like to help support the channel by sharing things around or by dropping a super thanks down below, that's extremely appreciated. And if you'd like to help support the channel, get your name at the end of videos, and get One Piece videos a little bit early, then you can hit join down below to become a channel member, or go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you so much to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to chosen regulars Evan, Holly, and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls, FR Nono, JA, and the D-Van, Cheriton students, David Langstaff, and Folded Ghoul, Slayer candidates SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Elements, Pater Ariel, and Elsa the Storyteller. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.